Tuska 2019. What we have here is a death metal band, which is a typical death metal band. Kind of a progressive, kind of experimental, kind of a technical of sorts. Delirium's Order. You might remember the name from the past, but this band kept quite silent for a few years. Juha, why so?
Well, I guess there are many reasons. So we have been around for many years, but I think that the main reason is that we really want to mature the ideas. But of course, there ain't that many professionals on this field in Finland. So actually, we have our own lives. We have something else also to do. We would like to keep more active, but of course, we have been really busy doing some other things, other projects. But now, the new album is ready, it's out, so we are happy with that.
Let's talk about a little bit this three-man lineup of what we have here. So you are the guitar player and the composer, and what else?
Well, I guess, yeah, that's the main thing. So actually on the new album, I've been doing also some arrangements for the vocals as well. I would like to sing as well, but mostly, as you said, so composer and guitarist. And also we have been doing a lot of work on the promotional side, and also we have had our own label. So basically, we have released the album on ourselves. So we don't have a big label at the moment. So basically, that's my other role. So basically, the band manager.
Brains, guitars, and manager. All right.
Exactly.
What about you, sirs? Let's start introducing. Who are you exactly, and why are you here?
So I'm Ukri, I play the drums.
Fair enough. And you?
My name is Marco, and I'm the session vocalist.
What does it mean that you're a session vocalist? Can you open up a bit?
Okay, so we met with Juha many years ago, and we kind of think that we should do something together. The Veniversum had just released then, and I was a fan. I was a fan. So that's how we kind of connected, and then we decided to do something together. And Juha asked me to come on his studio and try some vocals for a thing that he think that my voice is suitable. So I tried it out, and I think he liked it because it's still on the record, and also he gave me some role to do some vocal arrangements for other songs, and that's how I'm session vocalist. And today is a big day for me because today is the first Tuska open festival for me as an artist, and I'm looking forward to it. So,
well, that's quite a story there. You had a little bit of a break, like you said. It's not so easy to get proper members to play your kind of music. Let's talk about how we should, put in the box or genre your music. What are you comfortable with when we're talking about technical death metal, progressive death metal, experimental death metal? What it is?
I think that it's you cannot categorize to one category. It's more like you can use hashtags or keywords. So I think there are so many. If you look at Mr. Bungle, if you go to Wikipedia, I think there are like 50 different musical genres there. So I guess that it's the same for us. So we have our influences come from. I mainly listen to classical rock, so I like a lot of melodic music. So I like to create the music based on melody, so it starts from guitar. So I think that we have influences from classic rock, classical music, fusion jazz, but I don't consider myself as a technical death metal that much. And on the new album we have a lot of clean vocals as well. So I think we are very crossover in that sense.
That is also quite often a little bit of a problem when people are like finding simple solutions, so to speak. Like, I mean, like if you want to have a rock album, you will just get a regular rock album. But when you're doing crossover, it's kind of hard to kind of sell and have these selling points. Like, okay, we a little bit of that, a little bit like that, and they're like, okay, now I don't know what you're talking about. So if you had to compare yourself to some other band or bands, like in the terms of if you like these bands, you might like Delirium's Order. Which bands you might mention?
I don't have a clue. I guess that you could ask this from Ukri, because I don't listen that much to metal actually nowadays. I mostly listen to some classic albums from the 90s, old shit, but not that much of the modern stuff. But maybe may I redirect this to Ukri, because he knows better.
Most definitely. So, what would be your
Influence.
or what kind of recommendations you would?
Well, my favorite band ever is Meshuggah.
Do you think that is related to Delirium Sorter's music?
It's not really that much related to this band, I guess, but that's a personal influence for me and like very strong, widely influencing musical directions. So I guess that's part of my musical nature.
Talking about your musical nature and influences, all that stuff, now it must be mentioned that you also joined Abath lineup, which is kind of a Norwegian band with a Finnish drummer. How this happened?
Yeah, so it was almost 2 years ago. I got a message back then from Tom Kato, King of Hell, and he told about the situation with Abath, and the previous drummer back then, Emil, he had left the band for whatever reasons, and so basically they actually needed a drummer for a fixed period, which was 6 months at first. So I played gigs for 6 months, and then we went to studio. We did an Outsider album to be released actually in 6 days, next week Friday, and yeah, it's continuing. It's awesome.
How does playing in bands like Delirium Sorter and Abath differ from your perspective?
Well, DLO it's the most difficult shit ever. So it's really it's crazy amount of effort for this show. That is the first show of us for 6 years. So it's crazy effort from everybody. Well, basically the technicality of the music, that's the most biggest difference, I guess.
Are there any boundaries you're not willing to cross when it comes to creating drums, percussions, whatever?
Not really. There's a lot of like, we did this Argentinian tango cover, Piazzolla, on the new album, and there's also like some Latin influences, jazzy drumming parts, and but of course I try to keep it like in sort of the box of what this music is meant to be, which is, I think the DLO is mostly death metal, which has you know, a lot of outside of box explorations in the music.
All right. So since you said you're not listening that much to metal these days, and you're getting your influences from various sources, how do you manage to keep it kind of relevant in the terms of being metal, or would you be actually ready to explore beyond metal? Could you imagine you're doing stuff sort of Metallica way and go beyond the borders of metal, even to rock music or something totally different?
I guess we will not do Lulu type of album, but I guess that we will explore more, but it will stay within the boundaries of metal, so that will be in the core. If I want to explore more musically, other genres, but it will be another band. So I guess that's how it's gonna be.
What about your lyrics then? What can you tell about the themes that you are dealing with? What are your lyrics all about when it comes to Delirium Sorter?
Yeah. So now I guess that it's 20th anniversary for the band. So we formed around 98, 99. So I've been thinking that what kind of themes we have been having during the years. So we've had, the debut album was actually based on serial killers. So I was pretty fascinated about the concept back then. So really exploring the heinous acts, what the people have been doing, mostly in the US, also Russia, also Latin America. So that was the theme then. So lots of serial killers there. It's, if you think about the song Sunrise, it talks about Pedro Lopez. So he boasts to be the greatest man ever lived, having killed like over 300 people and so on. Of course, many people laughed at what the hell you are talking about. So, but actually, if you start to think about those things, it's pretty, you get really deep into that shit. But anyway, I guess our albums, they have been theme based. So the new album, it's based on the rise of artificial intelligence, and also it's based on physics. So it's the kind of singularity concept, the technological singularity, but also the concept of the singularity, the physical. So it's we go to the end, starting from today, we go to the end of the universe. So basically, what happens there is that the artificial intelligence is being born, and also the technological singularity happens, and then it departs the Earth, departs the humankind behind. So it's sci-fi album, actually.
Yes, singularity is a topic that is very much related, like I said, physics, space, and it's very scientific. Why did you decide to go to such topics? It's not very typical in metal or music in anyways.
Yeah, good question. So actually it goes to my roots. So when I started, I discovered the library when I was a small kid. So actually I went immediately to, I saw that what is this section here called sci-fi. So actually then I picked up some books there, started reading sci-fi, some Asimov, some other classic authors, and I was really fascinated, and that has influenced me a lot. I'm really fascinated about physics. I've been studying also some physics. My good friend is a doctor in plasma physics, so we spar ideas from time to time, and also I guess this was my dream come true, to make a theme-based album on this.
Could it be possible that you will totally abandon all violence and serial killers and death and all that stuff and focus solely on science?
Only on science, but still on music, you mean?
Exactly.
I don't have a clue. I don't have any idea where this is going. So I think that we don't have any new songs. We don't have any lyrics. So we are at the borderline at the moment. Might be the same theme, might be something completely different.
All right.
I don't have an answer.
All right. Mr. Session vocalist, how much room you have when it comes to creating these vocal arrangements, writing lyrics, and exploring your possibilities as an artist? How does it go for you?
Well, I think I was led to have, very much room. Do your thing, and let's see what it is. And of course, Juha is the producer, so also giving his ideas and bouncing around that this could be done differently, and this section is good, this section is not so good, and do it again. That's how it goes. I think that I got to do what I needed to do, kind of way. I'd say I have my opinion is, firstly, my opinion is always the best, of course, and then Juha says, no, that's not probably the best. And then I kind of chew it around for a week or two or something, and then I realized, okay, so you had a bigger idea that this should be done this way, and I have realized that, okay, yes, Juha has the talent of the brains of all the things. So I kind of consider myself as an generator of ideas, and he's the one picking them up. So that's. But I still think that I got to do what I needed to do. So this is a big honor for me.
Now Juha might just put his fingers in his ears. We're gonna ask your opinion about this. Is he a good boss?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the same for me. Basically, I'm bringing a lot of my ideas to the compositions and drum arrangements, and Juha is the one who is picking the ideas, choosing what is good and what is not.
Does he whip you a lot if things don't go as he ordered them to be?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Do you consider yourself to be a good boss?
Well, I need to comment that I don't consider whipping you, because I could whip you, but I know that it doesn't lead anywhere. So, so.
Yeah, well, maybe that's like from the past, more sort of.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, because as I mentioned, it's 6 years, and like when I joined the band, I was 17 years old, and yeah, so last time we played, I was 19, and so it's very different thing to nowadays do this. Everyone is in different phases in life, and I guess that's probably the main reason for this, or one of the main reasons for this break as long, because everybody's moving to whatever directions in life, and now we are just circle is complete and we're back here.
How does age affect you? I mean, in terms of, everybody gets more experienced when it comes to creating music, writing lyrics, all that stuff, but everybody also gets usually a bit more busier with life. Some have kids, you got wives, and people got divorces, jobs change, and people become more cynical and all that stuff. And you got the new BMW also, which needs to be mentioned here. Yeah. So how does age affect being a band guy?
Well,
and a BMW guy.
Yeah, I think there's one answer to this. So I've lowered my expectations. So before I was more of an perfectionist. But nowadays I have this 75% rule. So if I get the result, which is like three quarters, 3 of 4, 75%, whatever. So I think that's sufficient for me. So it's always. When other people they listen to music or consider any product that I'm doing or somebody else, they don't know that what is the possibility that you could have. So normally nowadays I just go for 75. I don't go to 11 anymore.
Could this be seen as a kind of a negative way that you're lowering your standards also?
Well, I think the standards are still there, but I'm thinking more in terms of efficiency. So if we are recording something, so I guess that we will not strive for perfection anymore. So I guess that when we have the 75% version, so I think that's sufficient.
Bands like Winter Sun is being known for like postponing their, new albums because aiming for perfection, and then there has been these kind of a crowdfunding projects like we need a sauna, we need a recording studio, so please fund us with 300,000 euros before we can make a new album because of perfection and whatnot. Do you think this is a great idea or just pure ridiculousness? Not taking a personal note on the band, but I mean the general idea of aiming too high.
Well, I don't think so. So I think that if you have very grand ideas and it's really something new, you should really go for it. So I really admire what Jari and Winter Sun has been doing. So I guess that they are like not the only one, but one of the few that have really succeeded there. So I'm really, really happy for them that they have pulled it off. But anyway, so going too high, so why not? It's up to you. So this is my kind of approach at this point.
One could even say, with us as a long-time metal music dudes like me, being a kind of a picky and cynical anyway, one could say that all the best metal albums are already done. Nothing new will be never again created as such. It's more or less kind of a recycling ideas, and nobody can beat the classics like beat Raining Blood or, I don't know, Master of Puppets and all that stuff. Do you think this idea is totally ridiculous, or does it have some truth?
I guess there's always room there, but of course it becomes much more difficult. But normally it's the best bands at the moment. They are not the biggest bands. Of course, when you go to the underground, there you have lots of new ideas. But my thinking is that I want to explore other musical styles and bring them to metal. But of course, there has been so many albums, thousands of albums released. So if you invent something, you are not the first one to do that. Actually, sometimes when I listen to some new bands, death metal bands, I listen that, okay, this is actually something that I created on the debut album. It's exactly the same rhythm. How is it possible that they have the same? So have they been listening to the album, or did they just coincidentally arrive at that? I don't know.
All right. Before we wrap things up, I'm going to ask each of one of you basically the same question. What will happen in next couple of years for you personally as a musician and as well as the band?
Well, as I mentioned earlier,
no plans.
No plans at the moment. But if I would predict, I would like to evolve this band even more, play more live. I would like to take DLO outside Finland, have a tour, But as mentioned before, here it's very difficult to find members. So it's actually comes down to it's our bottleneck, the other members. So let's hope that we will have a drummer.
All right. What about you? If you have plans with Abbath as well as DLO, so how it will look like? Can you take a look in your crystal ball and see some visions?
Yes, we have a lot of tours coming with Abbath. At the moment, I think that takes most of my schedule and most of my calendar. So basically everything else comes afterward, I think.
Fair enough. And what about you, sir? What lies in the future?
I really don't know. This has just been a trip, so I have some side projects that are slowly evolving. But I think this would be a great opportunity if we get to have Ukri for a while. It would be so great to go out in the open somewhere, Europe maybe, China, somewhere.
Well, this pretty much concludes our session. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to have you here. And what can I say? People out there, now that you've been viewing this, listening to this interview, go check out the band samples. You might actually get surprised with the talent of the band, the music that there is with the songs and all that stuff. And also, when you get the chance, go check out these fine gentlemen live, because, I mean, life is short and everybody eventually dies. So, thanks for checking out. See you soon. More stuff. Miksi aina tulee jotain kuolemalopetuksia?